Okay, magandang araw sa lahat. So, we will be continuing the part 2 ng ating subject, okay? Treatment and punishment. Okay? So, let's discuss what treatment is and what punishment is and how do these two terms differ. Okay? So, pag sinabi po nating treatment na it refers to the specific methods, techniques, or interventions employed to address and improve physical, psychological, emotional, or behavioral issues. Okay? So, literally speaking, guys, when we speak of treatment, no? So, it has something to do with cure. Okay? Gamutin. No? To cure or to make feel better. Okay? Para makaramdam ng mas maayos, no, na pakiramdam. Okay? Ang isang tao. Okay? Sino ba yung tao na tinutukoy natin dito? So, in relation to the therapeutic modalities, no, this refers to person deprived of liberty or yung mga residents, no, na sumasailalim dito sa therapeutic modalities. Okay? Kasi pag sinabi nating therapeutic, 'di ba? Treatment 'yan eh, 'di ba? Treatment. Okay? So, in order to make a person feel better. So, sa anong aspect ng isang tao, okay, pinaparanas natin, okay, or kinukure natin para makaramdam sila ng mas maayos na pakiramdam. Okay? Anong aspeto 'yon? Yung nabanggit kanina. Okay? Yung physical aspect, yung psychological aspect, yung emotional aspect, as well as okay, the behavioral aspects, no? Behavioral aspects, no? Yan po yung ginagamot during the treatment. Okay? So kapag ka sinabi naman po nating punishment, no? So from the Latin word na puena, 'di ba? Latin word na puena or pina, nang ibig sabihin ay penalty, no? So punishment, no, in legal sense, it pertains to the sanction established by the state. Okay? So pag sinasabi po natin na sanction established by the state, no? Ang ibig sabihin lang po natin 'yan, no, ay penalty, no? Penalty under the law, no? Yan po ang ibig sabihin ng sanction established by the state. Penalty, no, sa Tagalog, parusa, no? Saan natin makikita yung parusa na 'yan? Doon sa batas, no, na sinusunod ng isang bansa. Okay? In particular, we have the Revised Penal Code. Specifically, syempre yung Revised Penal Code Book 2. Okay? We also have special penal laws, no? So, may mga sanction dyan, no, na in-establish by the state. So, penalty po under the law. So, kung tatanong po ito sa inyong exam, quiz, and your midterm examination, okay, huwag nyo pong kakalimutan. Sanction established by the state, ang ibig sabihin po niyan ay penalty under the law. Okay? So, against a violator of the law, such as imprisonment and other penalties. Dito naman sa Pilipinas, guys, imprisonment di ba? Ang pinaka-common form of penalty, no, na in-establish under the law. Okay? Imprisonment, pagkakakulong. Or sa literal na sense, okay, in literal sense, it is the deprivation of liberty. 'Di ba? Kaya nga tinawag yung mga tao na gumawa ng krimen at nahuli, they are considered as what? Person deprived of liberty. Okay? So yan po yung difference ng dalawa. Treatment, no, it pertains to a cure, okay, in order to make a person feel better. Anong aspeto uli? Physical, psychological, emotional, and behavioral aspect. Kasi gumawa sila ng krimen, no? Gumawa sila ng krimen, merong effect yung crime na nakomit nila sa other persons, okay? And as well as sa society. So, kailangan silang ihiwalay sa community. By way of, dito na papasok yung punishment. Okay? Yung penalty. Okay? Under the law. So, yung penalty under the law na yon, ang tinutukoy doon ay imprisonment. Okay? So, maliwanag tayo sa treatment and punishment. Okay? So, next. What's the difference between treatment and punishment? So, while treatment is the process designed to change a person's behavior, attitudes, and underlying problems seen on the offender, ang punishment daw po involves imposition of penalty. Okay. So, napahagingan na natin, di ba? Nung diniscuss nating definition ng treatment and punishment. Okay. So, treatment, babaguhin mo or gagamutin mo. Ang alin? Yung apat na aspeto. Behavior, no? The attitude, yung physical, psychological, emotional, and behavioral issues. Okay? Samantalang ang punishment naman po, ito yung pagpapataw ng parusa. At under the law, yung penalty na tinutukoy dito is imprisonment. Maliwanag? Okay. So, tatandaan nyo po guys, that there is no punishment without imprisonment. Okay? Hindi mo po masasabi na krimen ang isang act or omission kapag walang punishment, no? Which is imprisonment. Okay? Question. Meron po bang provisions sa batas na considered as felony? Di ba? Nakalagay sa Revised Penal Code, Book 2. Felony siya di ba? Dinefine siya as felony. But, wala namang punishment na imprisonment. Meron po bang ganon? Yes, meron. Okay? Ano po yung provisions ng batas kung saan, okay? Kung saan wala namang punishment. Okay, saglit lang guys. Okay. So wala naman siyang punishment na imprisonment pero considered as felony under the law. Okay? So uulitin ko. An act or omission cannot be considered a felony without imprisonment. Tatandaan niyo po 'yan. Okay? So sir, balik tayo. Ano po ba yung act or omission na nakalagay sa Revised Penal Code Book 2 kung saan dinefine ng Revised Penal Code, di ba, na felony. Pero wala namang imprisonment. Okay? So, yun po ay makikita natin sa Article 247, di ba? Article 247. Ano po yung Article 247 na yan? Di ba? Yan po yung death, okay, or physical injury, no? Resulted death or physical injury or inflicted under exceptional circumstances. Okay? I guess nasabi ko na rin ata sa inyo to during our discussion on investigative report writing, no? So nasa batas po siya. Okay? Dinefine siya ng batas. Pero hindi mo siya mako-considered as felony kasi walang imprisonment, di ba? Okay. Hindi mo mako-considered as felony, no? Not considered a felony, no? Because what? For it has no punishment of imprisonment. Ano lang po ba ang punishment nito, sir? Destierro. Di ba? Ano po ba ang destierro? Ito po yung prohibition, okay, from entering to a specific area, okay, na dinesignate ng korte. Okay? For example, di ba, spouse against the other spouses. Nahuli ng isang spouse, yung other spouse, during sexual intercourse, di ba, with other person. Napatay nung spouse, okay, yung other spouse and the paramour. Okay? So, makukulong siya pero hindi siya mapapatawan ng parusa. Madidismiss din yung kaso upon presenting, no, itong justifications, itong justifying circumstance na ito. Okay? So, hindi po siya makukulong. Ano lang po ang gagawin sa kanya ng korte? Uutusan lang po siya na huwag kang pupunta dito sa lugar nung spouse mo or dun sa lugar nung paramour. Okay? Ang purpose ng batas doon ay para maprotektahan yung offended spouse. Okay? So, hindi lang sa spouse yan, ganun din, applicable din ito sa parents, okay, and their daughter, kung saan yung daughter is living with them. Okay? Nahuli nila during sexual intercourse with their boyfriend, di ba? Or seducer, yung term na ginagamit ng batas. Sa loob ng bahay, di ba? So, parang kabastusan naman kasi sa magulang yon. Okay? Napatay nila yung boyfriend, di ba? Or physical injury. Di ba? Pwede mo silang sampahan ng kaso, Article 247, pero during the hearing, di ba, madidismiss din yan kasi kapag ka napatunayan itong Article 247. Di ba? So, yan. Yan po yung Article 247. Hindi mo siya makukonsidered as felony kasi walang punishment of imprisonment. Okay? Laging tatandaan, ang isang act or omission ay matuturing nating crime kapag ka po merong punishment at ang punishment na yon must be imprisonment. Kuha? Okay. So, yan po yung difference between a treatment and a punishment. Okay. So, punta tayo dito sa nature and trends of punishment. Okay? So, guys, paalala lang lahat ng ine-emphasize ko or yung binibigyan ko ng diin, automatic po yan itatanong ko sa quiz at saka sa inyong midterm examinations. Okay? Next, nature and trends of punishment. Okay. So, pag sinabi nating nature and trends of punishment, no, pag-uusapan po natin dito yung makalumang, okay, paraan ng pagpaparusa, makalumang punishment, at kung ano po yung kanyang updates. Diba? Kung ano po yung updates o yung mga pagbabago. Yan yung nature and trends of punishment. Okay. So, nature of punishment. So, punishment in the correctional context, it means the redress that the state takes against an offending member for the transgression of the law. Okay. So, pag sinabi po nating redress, ang ibig sabihin po niyan, tatandaan po, ito po ay kabayaran. Diba? Compensation. Ano po ba yan, sir? Pera? Hindi po. Compensation, okay, doon sa resulta ng crime. Diba? Compensation to an act or omission, okay, that is considered, okay, that omission considered as a crime or a felony. Okay? Yan po yung redress. Okay? Yan po ang ibig sabihin ng redress. Kabayaran doon sa ginawang krimen. Okay? That the state takes. Now, pag sinabing that the state takes, ito po yung ini-impose ng ating gobyerno. Okay? It is imposed or implements. Okay? Pinapatupad. Okay? Yan po ang ibig sabihin ng that the state takes. Ini-impose, ipinapataw against an offending member. Okay? Against the offending member. Kilala nyo naman kung sino yung offending member yan, di ba? Kapag ka law enforcement pillar, tawag sa kanya suspect or person under police custody. Kapag ka naman po nasa prosecution, anong tawag? Respondent. Kapag ka po nasa korte, di ba? Accused or person deprived of liberty. Okay? Okay. Anong ginawa nila? Transgression of the law. So, tandaan nyo po, pag sinabing transgression, this means violation of the law. Okay? Kuha? Okay. Violation of the law. So, tatandaan nyo yung mga terms na yan na redress at saka yung transgression. Redress, kabayaran doon sa ginawang krimen. At ano yung kabayaran na yon? Imprisonment. Okay? Transgression for violation of the law. Okay. Another, it also involves pain or suffering. Okay, pain or suffering produced by design and justifies by some value that the suffering is assumed to have. So, ang pain or suffering dito, guys, hindi ito yung pananakit doon sa person deprived of liberty. Hindi po ito yung sasaktan mo siya, di ba? It does not involve physical pain. Okay? Pwede pa sigurong moral pain. Kasi ang pain or suffering na tinutukoy mo dito is yung pagtanggal mo o pagbawi mo sa kanilang liberty. Diba? Deprivation of their liberty. Nakaka-torture kaya guys sa isipan kapag ka tinanggalan ka ng kalayaan. Diba? Kami nung nasa training school kami, para kaming preso eh. Diba? Hindi nga kami nasasaktan physically. Wala sa amin yung puyat eh. Wala sa amin yung sakit ng katawan dahil sa training. Hindi. Ang masakit sa amin doon is yung tinanggalan kami ng kalayaan. Yung nararanasan namin sa labas na kasiyahan. 'Di ba? Pag nasa labas ka, magagawa mo ang lahat. Pero kapag ka binawi sa iyo 'yun, 'di ba? Yun yung pain or suffering na tinutukoy dito. Okay? Deprivation of liberty. Matotorture po utak mo diyan pag nasa loob ka. Okay? Sa salitang kalye, mabuburyong ka. No, yun yung ibig sabihin niyan. Okay? Next. So we have it is also a means of social control, no? Ito daw yung means, no, ng social control. Okay? So ibig sabihin, piniprevent po, okay, yung future commission of crimes. Okay? Yan. Means of social control. Okay? Kasi ito po yung guys ito po yung isa sa mga objectives ng criminal justice system, prevention of crimes. Okay. Ang ibig sabihin po ng means of social control, yan po yung prevention of crimes. Okay. Prevention of crimes. Not only crimes, prevention of future. Okay. Prevention of future crimes. Okay. Sir, bakit po future crimes? Kasi guys, kapag gumawa ng krimen ng isang tao, para maiwasan pa yung paggawa niya pa ng mas malalang krimen, teka lang, pigilan na natin yan, putulin na natin. Okay? Anong gagawin mo doon sa taong gumawa ng krimen para mapigilan yan? Hulihin mo, di ba? Ikulong mo. Okay? Yan po ang ibig sabihin yan. Means of social control. Okay? It is also a device to cause people to become cohesive, no? Maging masunurin and induce conformity. Di ba? Thus, it is necessary to restore moral equilibrium. Okay. So, pag sinabing restoring moral equilibrium, ito po yung maibabalik mo sa isang tao, no? Yung saya, 'di ba, ng paggawa ng mabuti. Yun restore moral equilibrium. Okay? Yung saya, 'di ba, yung luwag sa pakiramdam ng isang tao ay gumagawa ng mabuti. Okay? Yun po yung naibabalik sa community. Okay? Ayan. Yan po ang ibig sabihin ng nature of punishment. Ulitin ko, ang punishment po means the redress. Pag sinabing redress, compensation to the commission of the crime that the state takes. No? Ito yung pinapataw o pinapatupad ng gobyerno. Para kanino? Against an offending member. Para saan? Sa transgression of the law. Ano po ibig sabihin ng transgression? Violation. Okay? Sa punishment, it involves pain or suffering. Hindi po ibig sabihin dito physical torture. Kundi, what? You only deprive a person of his liberty. Okay? Kasi ang punishment daw is a means of social control. Ano ibig sabihin ng means? Ito po yung what? Objective, okay, ng criminal justice system, that is to prevent commission of future crimes. Okay? So, yan po yung nature of punishment. Now, let's proceed with the trends in punishment. Okay, tignan natin yung timeline. Ano ba yung mga sinaunang punishment na ini-impose ng isang estado? Okay? So, ito po yung makaluma, ancient forms of punishment. Okay? So, first is death penalty. Okay? From the word itself, di ba? Ang ini-impose mo is death, kamatayan. Okay? So, this was affected by burning. Biruin mo gumawa ng krimen. Okay? Susunugin mo. Di ba? Nagnakaw. Okay? Nagnakaw yung isang tao. Ibababad mo yung kamay doon sa kumukulong langis or sa kumukulong tubig. Di ba? Okay. Yan yung guys di ba yung tinatawag natin na na Dei Indicum. Okay. Dei Indicum. Okay. Yan po yung trial by ordeal, na yan yung means of means of detecting guilt or innocence. Okay, trial by ordeal. Okay. Ayan. Kasama din po yan sa Dei Indicum o yung tinatawag na trial by ordeal. Diba? Kasi parang papatayin mo yung tao Susunugin mo. Diba? Susunugin mong ganyan. Pag nabuhay pa siya, diba? Ibig sabihin, inosente. Sa boiling oil naman, diba? Nagnakaw siya, ibababad mo yung kamay doon sa kumukulong mantika o kumukulong tubig. Diba? Para ma-establish mo lang yung innocence or guilt ng tao. Diba? Parang pinatay mo na din siya. Okay? Yan. It also includes drowning. Okay? Lulunurin mo yung tao hanggang sa mamatay. And hanging. Siyempre, ito yung ibibitin mo pati warik yung tao. Okay? And death penalty. Dito sa Pilipinas, guys, di ba? Wala na tayong death penalty Di ba? So, ano ba yung history ng death penalty dito sa atin? Okay, history of death penalty. Actually, nagkaroon tayo ng death penalty. Okay? At ang unang tao nga na sumailalim sa na binigyan ng death penalty is si Leo Echegaray. Di ba? Very first person yan si Leo Echegaray. Di ba? Si Leo Echegaray. Di ba? Okay. I'm not very specific with the spelling, no? Pero Leo Echegaray. Okay, nang rape kasi ito di ba? Tapos ang penalty is death. Okay? Until di ba? Yung 1987, di ba? Ng 1987 Philippine Constitution, okay? Actually inabolish na yan Okay, abolish death penalty di ba? Inabolish na noong 1987 yan. Philippine Constitution. Okay? Pero noong 1993, guys, okay, 1993, sa panunungkulan ni President Fidel B. Ramos, okay, ni-reimpose uli, di ba? Reimpose imposition of death penalty. Okay? Kung saan ipinasa dito yung anong batasyon? Republic Act 7659. Okay? So, ano ba yung Republic Act 7659? Ito po yung heinous crime law. Okay? Na nagsasabi na kailangan death penalty. No? Death penalty, okay, shall be imposed, okay, to heinous crimes. Ano ba yung mga heinous crimes dati? Murder, di ba? We have parricide, we have homicide, we have destructive arson, okay, illegal drugs, human trafficking, no? Human trafficking. Yan yung mga ano guys, mga heinous crimes Okay, kung saan death penalty ang parusa. Okay? Pero nung 2006 po, okay, muli pong binasura yan. Muli pong inabolish. Okay, yung tamang term, no? Muli pong inabolish ang death penalty ng what? RA 9346. Okay, this is the abolishment of death penalty. Okay? So yan po ang death penalty history sa Pilipinas. Okay? Since wala na pong death penalty ngayon, ang capital punishment na lamang po, no? Capital punishment, yung pinaka mataas na punishment na lang po, no? Kapalit ng death penalty is what? Life imprisonment. Okay? Maliwanag po? Okay, yan po yung death penalty. Okay, another po is yung physical torture. Okay? Physical torture. So, this was the so-called corporal punishment. So, ang physical torture daw po ay tinatawag na corporal punishment, no? Which was affected by mutilation, maiming, whipping, etc. So, bakit po siya tinawag na corporal punishment? Kasi po, with respect to the word corporal, tumutukoy po ito sa body, no? Referring to the body of a person. Okay? Anong ginagawa dun sa body? Yun, violence, di ba? So, yun yung tinatawag nating physical torture. Okay? So, kasama na dyan yung pagputol ng mga body parts, okay, yung pagpalo, no, ng latigo para malatayan yung katawan ng tao. Okay? So, again, that is physical torture and it is prohibited, no, dito sa ating bansa ngayon. Okay? Hindi na po, wala na pong death penalty, wala na rin pong imposition of physical torture. Okay? And then we have the so-called social degradation. Okay. Makalumang makalumang forms of punishment. Okay. So pag sinabi po nating social degradation, ito po yung pamamahiya, na pamamahiya mo dun sa offender. Ayan. Putting the offender to shame or humiliation. Okay? Ipapahiya mo yung tao, di ba? Ipapahiya mo yung tao. So, ang social degradation, ginagawa ito sa pamamagitan ng branding. Okay. So, guys, ano ba ibig sabihin ng branding? No? Yan, di ba? Ito, naririnig nyo to dun sa sa inyong correctional institution di ba? Institutional and non-institutional correction no? Kapag sinabing branding, di ba? Parang nilalagyan ka ng brand. Di ba? Nilalagyan ka ng brand. Okay? Sinusunog. Okay? Yung part ng katawan mo. Burning of the body parts. Okay? With a symbol or marks. Minamarkahan ka. Okay? Yan. With a hot iron. Okay? Or plancha. sa pamamagitan ng plancha. Okay? Marking you, no, or placing you a mark. Placing a mark, di ba? That, okay, you are, no, a criminal. Di ba? Parang sa baboy, di ba? Nilalagay mo halal. No? Yung mga baboy na yan, tinatatakan natin yan, halal. Dito naman, yung makalumang forms of punishment, branding naman. Okay? Tinatatakan ka para, okay, may palatandaan na ikaw ay kriminal. No? Ayan. So, branding. Para iiwasan ka ngayon ng tao. No? Kapag ka nakita yung symbol o yung marks mo, okay, ng sunog sa katawan. Okay? Another use, yung use of docking tools. Okay. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng docking tools? Diba? Docking tools or stool. Okay. Ang docking tool, guys, na ikaw ay ikaw ay pauupuin, di ba? The offender, no, will be forced, no, to sit in a chair. Papaupuin ka sa chair, di ba? Itatali ka. Okay? No, the chair, no, was then knotted or tied, di ba? Was then tied, no, in a post. Nakatali sa poste. Okay? And you will be what? You will be submerged into the water. Okay? Hihilain ka niyan. No? Papaupuin ka sa upuan, itatali ka doon, and then ilulubog ka sa tubig. Yun yung docking tool. Okay? Another is pillory. Okay? Pillory. Paano naman ginagawa ang pillory during the ancient times? Okay. So, pillory. Itong pillory, guys, meron po yung poste. Di ba? May poste po yan kung saan yung ulo mo at saka yung kamay mo nakaipit doon sa nakaipit doon sa kahoy, no? Nakaipit sa kahoy yan, yung ulo at saka yung kamay mo. Okay? And then i-display ka no? In front of the public na nakalagay doon, no? Ako ay isang magnanakaw. Yun yung pillory, no? Ayan yung pillory. No? Again, no, that is social degradation, no? At it is totally prohibited dito sa Pilipinas, na? Okay, kasi makaluma na 'to Diba? Next is banishment. So pag sinabi po nating banishment, no? Ito yung sending or putting away of an offender which was carried out either by a prohibition against coming into a specified territory such as an island to where the offender has been removed. Okay, banishment. Okay, actually pareha sila nung guys nung yung konsepto ng isang destiyero. Okay, papalayuin ka, no? Papalayuin ka, pero hindi naman yung sobrang layo katulad ng banishment. Ang banishment parang alam mo yung pusa na ililigaw mo. Ganun ang ginagawa sa banishment, no? Banish ibig sabihin parang tinatanggal ka, binubura ka sa community, di ba? The community is making you vanish, di ba? Parang nawawala ka na, parang bula. Di ba? Paano mangyayari yung banishment? Dadalhin ka sa isang isla na malayo doon sa iyong place of residence. Okay? Yan yung banishment. Okay? Ayan. So, next, yan. So, early forms of punishment. Ito naman yung after the ancient forms, di ba? Ito naman yung mga una sa pinaka bagong trends or bagong changes sa punishment. Okay, so aside from punishment daw, yung mga offenders daw, okay, is, okay, doing or rendering hard labor, okay, or public works, including the building of military fortifications as a result of these developments. Okay? So, pinagtatrabaho ka ng gobyerno, no? So, ito yung mga isa sa unang step doon sa changes in forms of punishment, no? Hard labor. Okay. So, next, pumunta tayo rito sa contemporary forms of punishment. So, pag sinabi po natin contemporary, no? Ibig sabihin ito, modern. Ito po yung mga makabagong forms of punishment. Okay? So, ito yung mga makabagong forms of punishment. Okay? Number 1 dyan is imprisonment. No? So, imprisonment is putting offenders in a prison. Okay? So, diniscuss ko na sa inyo and during your institutional corrections, yung difference between a jail and prison, di ba? Okay. So, ang imprisonment, ito yung sa Tagalog, pagkulong sa isang tao. Okay? Anong purpose kung bakit ka kinukulong? Kasi, it is the redress. Di ba? Ito yung action. Ito yung kabayaran mo doon sa act or omission, okay, na nakumit mo. Okay? Imprisonment. Okay? So, rehabilitating them by undergoing institutional treatment programs. Okay? So, tandaan nyo guys dati ang jail, di ba? Ang jail at ang prison po, meron po siyang safekeeping of inmates, di ba? Safekeeping as well as rehabilitation. Okay? Safekeeping and rehabilitation. Pero with the advent of the new curriculum ng criminology, aside from non-insti at saka institutional, lumitaw po yung pangatlong pillar, which is the therapeutic modalities. Yung rehabilitation po, nilipat na po doon sa therapeutic modalities. Okay? So, safekeeping na lamang po sila. Okay? Yan, safekeeping. So, yan po ang imprisonment, no? Protecting the public and at the same time, rehabilitating them. Ang rehabilitating, okay, kasama na po yan sa therapeutic modalities. Okay, yung rehabilitation of the person deprived of liberty. Okay? Another contemporary or yung mga modern forms of punishment is itong parole and probation. Okay? Na-discuss naman na sa inyo to in details, di ba? During your non-institutional corrections and institutional corrections. Okay, the difference between parole and probation. Okay, so to give you a short review, okay, let's illustrate the two, no, yung differences nitong dalawang to. Okay. So ang parole and the probation. Okay? Ang parole, guys, okay, so makinig mabuti. Ang parole po, okay, is granted. Okay? Granted to a prisoner. Okay? After serving his minimum sentence. Okay? After serving his minimum sentence. Pwede kang mapalaya. Okay? Papalayain ka ng gobyerno. Okay? Samantalang ang probation, okay, granted, no, to the offender. Okay, granted to the offender immediately. Okay, immediately after conviction. Okay? After conviction. Okay? Now, ang parole naman, ginagrant ito, no, granted to any prisoner, okay? Okay, committing, no, um, committing repeated crimes. Di ba? Samantalang sa provision, granted only to what? First time. Okay, first time offenders. Okay? Granted only to first time offenders. Okay? Sa parole, okay? Irregardless, okay, of, regardless of the length of imprisonment. Kahit gaano kataas ang length of imprisonment. Dito, okay, granted only, no, to those, okay, to those felonies or to those crimes having penalties, no, having penalties of less than 6 years. Okay? Less than 6 years of imprisonment. Okay? Maliwanag po? Yan. So, ang parole, it is an extension of the institutional-based correction. Okay. Institutional-based correction. Extension siya kasi habang gumagawa siya ng mabuti sa loob ng kulungan, he is serving, di ba? The minimum of his sentence. Samantalang itong probation naman po, okay, it is a substitute for imprisonment. Hindi ka makukulong dito basta nag-grant ng korte. Okay? Sino ang granting authority? Sa parole, ang granting authority ay granted by the Board of Pardons and Parole. Samantalang ang probation po is granted by the court. Okay? So, yan po yung parole and probation. Okay? I hope that makes sense, guys. Yan yung mga modern di ba? Modern or contemporary forms of punishment. Okay? So, let's proceed with the justifications of punishments. Okay. So, sir, ano po ba ibig sabihin ng justifications of punishments? Okay? So, pag sinabi pong justifications, no, ito po yung mga iba't ibang various philosophical, okay, and legal arguments, okay, why the society, okay, is permitted. Bakit daw yung mga tao sa society, okay, and even the government are permitted, pinapayagan to inflict pain, okay, or deprivation, okay, of his liberty. Okay? So, yan po yung justifications. Okay? So, ito po yung mga various philosophical and legal arguments okay? Na magpapahintulot sa tao, sa community, particularly the state, na magpataw ng punishment sa isang individual. Okay? Yan po yung justifications. Okay? And generally speaking, pag sinabi po natin justification of punishments, may dalawang principle po na involved dito or dalawang categories. Okay? Categories of the or the punishment. Okay? Ano yung categories ng punishment? Number 1 dyan is yung retributivist. Okay? Retributivist, okay, justification. Okay? Ang ibig sabihin, no, ang punishment daw, okay, punishment, is a way of what? Moral desert. Okay? Or deserve. Okay? Deserve response. Okay? For response for the commission of the crime. Okay? Karapat-dapat lang daw po, okay, na patawan ng punishment ang isang taong gumagawa ng krimen according to the retributivist category of punishment. Okay, and yung pangalawa naman is yung utilitarianism principle. Okay, so pag sinabi nating utilitarianism principle, ang punishment daw, okay, is justified, okay, by its what? Beneficial consequences. Okay. So pag sinabi po nating beneficial consequences, di ba? Magbe-benefit ang public dito eh. Bakit? Kasi mawawala ng salot sa lipunan. Di ba? They will the community will free will be feeling safe, di ba? Safety, okay? Or free from any criminal activities, di ba? So yan po yung dalawang categories of punishment. Okay? So let's proceed now. Ano ba yung mga justifications of punishment? Okay, number 1 nga is retribution. So with respect to retribution, okay, it means punishment of an offender was carried out in the form of vengeance. Okay? So ang pag-inflict daw ng punishment, okay, is as a form of vengeance. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng vengeance? Paghihiganti. 'Di ba? Ayan, kaya nga 'di ba sabi natin kanina, it is the redress, di ba, that the state takes after the commission of the crime. Okay? So, pag sinabi natin redress, na ang ibig sabihin nun, ito po yung consequences, di ba? Ayan. Sa retribution, punishment of an offender was carried out in the form of vengeance. Or rather, ayan, form of vengeance. That is retribution. From the word itself, retribute. Diba? Ibig sabihin, babawian mo. Okay? Babawi ka. Vengeance. Paghihiganti. Okay? Another, expiation or atonement. So, this was in the form of group vengeance naman. Okay? So, group vengeance, grupo kayo. Kunwari, grupo kayo ng mga political offenders, grupo kayo ng mga murder yung kaso, etc. Okay, yan po yung ibig sabihin ng expiation or atonement. Okay. Next, deterrence or exemplarity. Okay. So, pag sinabi po natin na deterrence, no, it has something to do it has something to do with a psychological discouragement. 'Di ba? Yan yung deterrence eh. Okay. Deterrence. Okay. So deterrence, this is the discouragement, no? Discouragement. Ano ang dine-discourage mo rito? Discouragement of the commission of crimes. Okay? Through instilling what? Through instilling doubt or fear. Okay? Dinidiscourage mo daw ang paggawa ng krimen sa pamamagitan, okay, no, ng paghihinala, okay, at takot. Kasi kung ikaw nakakita ka ng pulis dyan, di ba, naka-uniform, tapos nagdadrive ka, wala kang lisensya, ang dami ng tinitikitan, di ba, ng mga law enforcers. Di ba? Hindi po pwedeng hindi ka rin titikitan pag dumaan ka doon. So dito nagkakaroon ng doubt or fear ang isang offender, di ba? Natatakot siya, nadi-discourage siya. Okay na gumawa ng krimen. Okay? So yan po ang ibig sabihin ng deterrence or exemplarity. Okay? So ginagamit daw ang punishment para ma-discourage yung mga tao na gumagawa ng krimen. Diba? Okay. So, next is we have protection. Protection is the society's interest, no? Okay, that can be best served by helping the prisoner become a law-abiding citizen. Okay. So, yan, no? Yung prisoner daw, tinutulungan na maging, what? Tagasunod sa batas. Yan, tagasunod sa batas. To become a law-abiding citizen. Okay? Yan po ang ibig sabihin ng protection. Okay? So, pine-prepare na, tinutulungan na yung tao. Okay? To become a law-abiding citizen, okay, para maging ready uli. Para maging ready uli itong prisoner na ito, no, kapag siya ay hinalo sa community. Okay? So, yan po ang justifications of punishment. Okay? So, next, we have limitations naman po ng punishment. Okay? Ano ba ang mga limitasyon ba? Saan mo ba hindi pwedeng saan mo ba pwedeng i-apply ang limitations? Yung hindi pwedeng magpataw ng parusa. Okay? And what are the characteristics of punishments? Okay? Actually, limitations, ito yan yung prohibition on cruel. Okay? Itong sumunod, guys. No? So, ito naman yung tinatawag natin na characteristic. Paki-correct na lang po, no? Characteristics of punishment. Okay, so ano ba ang mga characteristic? Dito muna tayo. Prohibition on cruel, di ba? Hindi makatarungan. Inhuman, hindi makatao. Or degrading punishment, yung mapapahiya, okay, ang isang tao doon sa punishment na in-employ mo. Under Article 3 of the 1987 Philippine Constitution, it provides that the state shall observe the right of a person against excessive fine, cruel, or degrading or inhuman punishment. Okay? So, yan po yung prohibition. Now, let's proceed with the characteristics of punishment. No? Ano ba ang characteristic ng isang punishment? So, first, the punishment must be personal. Okay? The punishment must be personal. Ano ibig sabihin? It means that no one should be punished for the crime done by another person. Kung ang ginawa ng isang tao ay murder, for example, etong si Bayagbag, for example, murder ang kaso. Okay? Hindi po pwedeng yung anak niya ang mabigyan ng parusa. Hindi po pwedeng yung nanay, yung tatay, ang tatanggap ng parusa. Hindi po pwede yun. Okay? Kasi sabi nga ni Duterte, di ba? Crime, di ba? Criminal liability is personal. No? Yan po ang ibig sabihin. Okay, next. Punishment must be commensurate. So, pag sinabi po natin commensurate, dapat akma po yung penalty, no? At saka akma, appropriate, di ba? Yung penalty ng isang crime dun sa isang crime. Okay? Punishment must be commensurate. Okay? Ang ginawa mo, murder. Diba? So, dapat, reclusion perpetua ang ipapataw mo na punishment. Diba? Hindi naman po pwedeng murder ang ginawa, tapos ang ipapataw mong punishment is yung sa punishment ng theft. Hindi commensurate yun. Diba? So, dapat kung anong ginawa mong krimen, ganun din dapat, no? Yung gravity, di ba, ng gravity, okay? Yung ginawa mo, dapat ganun din yung gravity ng punishment. Okay? So, next, punishment must be correctional. Okay. So, tulad nga nung sinabi ko, di ba? Asa na ba tayo? Correctional. So, di ba? Tulad nga ng sinasabi natin kanina, ang primary goal of punishment is to reform and rehabilitate the offenders. Paano ba siya makakapag-rehabilitate? Kung pagdating mo sa kung pagdala mo sa kanya doon sa prison or sa jail, di ba? Nakakaranas siya ng mga privileges, di ba? So, andyan yung nakakakain siya ng marami, nakakakain siya ng masarap, di ba? So, nagagawa nila yung mga bagay na nagagawa nila sa laya, okay? Hanggang sa doon nung sila ay nakulong. So, wala pong doon, wala pong correctional. Okay, punishment is not correctional in that situation. Kasi dapat merong what? Pain and suffering. Tanggalin mo yung mga privileges nila na yon. Okay, kasi no? Okay. Kasi dapat correctional dapat yung isang person deprived of liberty kailangan na makaramdam ng pain and suffering. Ibig sabihin, makaramdam siya, no? At least moral. Okay, moral pain. Di ba? So, kung sa kulungan, tuloy pa rin yung illegal activities, di ba? Tuloy pa rin yung pagkain ng masasarap, that is not correctional in nature. Kundi, ang punishment is not correctional, bagkus isang privilege. Di ba? Enjoyment. Di ba? So, hindi po pwede yun. Punishment must be correctional. Punishment must be legal. So, kapag magpapataw ng parusa, dapat merong legal basis. Ano po yung legal basis? Yung batas na isinet yung batas na pinasa ng Congress, okay, at pinirmahan, okay, ng ating presidente, di ba? So, dapat merong kang legal basis sa pagpapataw ng parusa. Okay, punishment must be certain. So, pag sinabing certain, guys, swift. Dapat daw mabilis po ang dapat mabilis po daw ang pagpapataw ng punishment. Kasi isa rin po sa rights of a person yun Okay, yung right to have a speedy disposition of trial. Di ba? So, kailangan maparusahan agad. Di ba? Mapunish agad at okay, or mai-impose na yung punishment doon sa tao. Okay? So, yan po yung punishment must be certain. Ibig sabihin, yung punishment dapat ma-impose without delay. Di ba? Or without failure. Punishment must be equal. Okay? So, kung ang nakulong ay mayaman, okay, at may nakulong din na mahirap, no? Dapat patas lang po, no? Kung nakagawa sila parehas ng krimen, kung ano yung penalty or yung punishment doon sa isa doon sa mahirap, ganun din dapat ang punishment doon sa mayaman. Di ba? That is the essence of equality. Okay? So next, let's proceed with the exemptions of punishment. Okay. Exemptions, ibig sabihin, ito po yung mga circumstances kung saan exempted, di ba, yung mga tao, okay, o yung offender sa what? Sa paggawa ng sa pag-impose ng punishment. Okay, una, exemptions under legal perspective. Diyan na papasok yung sa justifying circumstances. Okay. Justifying and exempting circumstances, di ba? Under the Revised Penal Code, Book 1. Okay. We also have exceptions, no, exemptions under correctional administration perspective. Okay. So let's proceed with the exceptions. Okay, exemptions under legal perspective. So meron tayong justifying circumstances and exempting circumstances. So justifying circumstances, guys, 'di ba? So andyan yung self-defense. Okay. So dito, guys, pag nakapatay ang isang tao or nakagawa ng hindi maganda because of self-defense, 'di ba? They can be exempted, 'di ba? Their acts or omission are being exempt, from the exempted, from the imposition of the punishment. Okay? Pero syempre kailangan alam mo muna kung kailan papasok ng self-defense yan. Ano ba yung yung kanilang elements, di ba? Ang self-defense kailangan merong unlawful aggression. Okay. Unlawful aggression. So, ibig sabihin ng unlawful aggression, imminent yung attack. Okay? Nakikita mo na yung pag-atake, andyan na di ba? Example, sasaksakin ka na. No? Unlawful aggression yun Yung threat doon sa buhay ng isang tao is nandoon na. Okay? That is unlawful aggression. Okay? And then, pangalawa, the person, okay, the person, okay, has reasonable necessity, okay, of the means employed, to prevent or repel it. Okay, so reasonable necessity, di ba? The means employed to prevent or repel it. Ano ibig sabihin nito? Sasaksakin ka na. Dapat yung pagdepensa mo must be proportionate doon sa aggression or doon sa attack. Sasaksakin ka, di ba? Hindi po pwedeng hindi reasonable necessity yung pagputok mo ng baril sa kanya. Okay, para maging reasonable necessity, kailangan ginawa mo muna lahat para maiwasan ito. Okay? And then kapag sukol ka na, wala ka ng lugar para maiwasan ito, okay? And then pwede mo nang justified na yung action na pagbaril. Okay? So yan yung essence ng self-defense, guys. Okay? And then, syempre, lack of sufficient provocation. Ano ibig sabihin yan? Lack of sufficient provocation. Hindi sa'yo nanggaling. Okay? Ang pagpapagalit or pamimikon, di ba? Doon sa isang tao. Okay? So, yan po ang ibig sabihin ng self-defense. Pag present po yan, tatlo na yan, okay, papasok po yan doon sa what? Papasok yan doon sa self-defense, no? Exempted from imposition of punishment. Okay, how about defense of relatives? Diba? So, the first and second element must also be present, diba? So, unlawful, diba? Unlawful aggression. Present dapat niya. Dapat meron din reasonable necessity of the means. Okay. Copy na lang natin. Okay. Of the means employed to prevent or repel. Okay. And then, dito sa defense of relatives, okay, in case of provocation, nagkaroon ng provocation, okay, yung relatives niya ang mayroong provocation. Okay. The person who defending his relatives, okay, had no part. The offender had no. Okay. The offender have no part. Okay? So, yan po yung defense of relatives. Okay? So, for example, yung asawa mo, for example, sasaksakin, di ba? Ikaw, okay, niligtas mo, di ba? So, yung provocation na yun, dapat wala yung person defending his or her relative. Okay? So, kahit may provocation man, di ba? Hindi dapat manggagaling yung provocation, no? Doon sa person defending the relatives. Okay? So, sa defense of stranger, ganun din actually. Diba? Defense of stranger, first and second element must be present. Okay? Defense of stranger. Okay? Reasonable necessity of the means, diba? And then, yung dulo, guys, no, the person, okay, the person defending be not induced. Okay. The person defending be not induced what? By revenge. Okay. By revenge, resentment. Okay. So, ibig sabihin, ikaw na nagbibigay ng defense sa stranger, kailangan yung tao na aatakihin mo, no, as a means of the defense to stranger, you are not induced by revenge, di ba? By resentment. Hindi mo intention na maghiganti. Okay? So that's defense of stranger. Avoidance of greater evil. Okay? So ang avoidance of greater evil, dapat yung evil so to be avoided is present. Okay? And you have no other choice. You have no other choice or other practical means to prevent it. Example, guys, sa isang squatter area, for example, diba? Nasusunog yung nasa gitnang bahay ni A at saka ni C. Diba? So, in short, nasusunog yung bahay, no? Ni B. Diba? Ni B. Yung bahay na yun, diba? Matutupok niya na yung bahay ni A. Okay? Masisira niya na. Okay, yung bahay ni A. Okay. Now, ang ginawa ng tao, okay? Ang ginawa ng tao, anong ginawa? Okay, giniba niya yung bahay ni A para hindi na humaba pa yung apoy. Okay? Para hindi na humaba pa yung matutupok ng apoy. Di ba? Sinira niya yung bahay ni A. Okay? So, yun yung tinatawag natin avoidance of greater evil. Okay? Then, we also have lawful exercise of a right or office. Di ba? So, dito, ito yung inutusan ka eh. Di ba? inutusan ka to perform a lawful order, di ba? Yung lawful exercise of right or office. For example, yung mga police officers natin, nang aresto sila. Okay? Nang aresto sila, and then in-inquest. Okay? Pero pagdating sa korte, na-dismiss yung kaso. Okay? So, they only perform, okay, the exercise of the right or office. Okay? So, justified sila. Diba? Kahit ma-dismiss man yung kaso, no? Na isinampa nila. Next, obedience of order by a superior. Okay. Obedience of order. Sinunod mo lang yung order ng superior mo. Okay. So, justified yun. Punishment na yan. Okay? So, yan yung sa justifying circumstances. Dito sa exempting circumstances naman, ito yung mga sumusunod. Imbecile. Ang imbecile, ito yung nasa hustong gulang na siya, pero yung pag-iisip niya, parang pag-iisip ng normal, pag-iisip ng bata. Okay? 30 years old na. Kung mag-isip siya, parang 9 years old. Insane person naman, no, kapag nakakommit ng crime ito, they are exempted from criminal liability. But if they acted, no, except if the insane person acted during their lucid interval. Ano ibig sabihin ng lucid interval? Ito po yung time kung saan matino yung isang tao. Matino, nasa katinuan yung isang insane person, no? So, if they acted during lucid interval, then they are not exempted from the punishment. Okay? And then person under 9 years old, over 9 years old but under 15 years old, acted without discernment. Okay, given na yan. Performance of lawful act with due care, irresistible force or uncontrollable fear. Di ba? So, pinwersa ka na gawin ang isang bagay na ayaw mo. Di ba? Tinakot ka. For example, papatayin ko yung isang member ng pamilya mo kapag hindi mo ako sinunod. Di ba? So, there is uncontrollable fear. Di ba? Okay? O kaya naman, irresistible force. Diba? Tinutukan ka ng baril sa ulo para gawin ng isang bagay. No? Okay. So, ayan. And, yung insuperable cause. Okay, so dito the person fails to perform an act required by the law when prevented by lawful or insuperable cause. Okay, so yan yung mga exempting circumstances. Okay, next, let's proceed with exemptions from punishment in correctional administration perspective. Sa point of view ng correctional administration, pag sinabi po natin, una na dito yung executive clemency. Okay, so executive clemency. Pag sinabi natin executive, sinong gumagawa niyan? It is under the virtue of the president. Okay, clemency, anong sa Tagalog niyan? Awa. Diba? Mercy. Diba? Kinaawaan mo yung offender. Okay, dahil kinaawaan mo ang offender, hindi mo na siya isa sa ilalim sa pagkakakulong. Papalayain mo na siya. Yan yung executive clemency. Okay? So, pero dapat dito sa executive clemency, with the concurrence of the Congress. Diba? Dapat pumapayag din yung Kongreso. Okay. So, executive clemency is the most direct form of exemption, where the executive branch grants clemency, which exempts an offender from the punishment imposed by the court. Okay? So, isa sa mga example dito, yung pardons. Diba? Pardons. Lalong-lalo na yung absolute pardon. Okay, absolute pardons. Okay. So, dito sa absolute pardon, diba? Papalayain ka without conditions eh. Maibabalik sa iyo ang mga nawala sa iyo na karapatan. Okay? Mabubura ang records mo. Okay? Unlike sa conditional pardons, no? Papalayain ka pero kailangan mo sumunod sa mga conditions na sinet ng Board of Pardons and Parole. Pa? Maliwanag? Okay. So, ang executive clemency din daw is an act of mercy or leniency. Mercy, awa. Leniency, luwag from certain consequences of a criminal conviction and is exercised by the President after receipt of the recommendation from the Board of Pardons and Parole. Okay? So, what are the factors to be considered in filing for executive clemencies? Okay, ano ba yung mga factors na kinoconsider para daw payagan na mag-file ng executive clemency ang isang tao? Okay, so we have the age of the petitioner. Kapag ang age of the petitioner, 70 years old, di ba? Pataas, di ba? Bakit hindi mo pa yan papayagan? Gravity of the offense and the manner in which it was committed, di ba? Mababa lang naman yung penalty ng crime na nagawa mo, di ba? Hindi naman siya punishable with reclusion temporal, reclusion perpetua. Okay? And the institutional behavior or conduct and previous criminal record. Kung doon sa loob ng kulungan, di ba, may tinatawag tayo doon ng GCTA, Good Conduct Time Allowance. Di ba? Pagdating mo pa lang sa kulungan, tahimik ka lang, di ba? Mabait ka, nakikipag kapwa-tao ka, then pwedeng mai-consider yan as factor, di ba? Okay, factors to be considered in filing or granting of the executive clemency. Okay, first time offender mo. First time offender ka pa lang, di ba? Okay, next. Evidence that the petitioner will be legitimately employed upon release. Okay. So dito guys, okay, syempre kapag ka nakulong naman ang isang tao, wala namang kasing corporation or business enterprises natatanggap basta-basta doon sa mga nakalaya na, di ba? Bakit? Kasi may brand sila eh, di ba? Uy, puta, ex-convict yan, di ba? Huwag natin tanggapin yan. Teka lang, kukuha yan ng NBI clearance. Magkakaroon ng hint, di ba? Hindi sila employed upon release. Pero kapag ka nagpasa ng affidavit yung inyong pinagtatrabahuan, no? Affidavit affidavit of the company. Okay, affidavit of the company na yung tao na yan is tatanggapin pa rin nila sa company nila despite being imprisoned. Okay, so okay yan, i-consider yan. Next, showing that the petitioner has a place where he will reside. Tatanggapin pa rin siya dun sa community kung saan siya nakatira. Pero dito, kailangan mag-execute ng affidavit. Okay. No? Anong uri ng affidavit? Okay. Affidavit, sino ba ang gagawa ng affidavit? Diba? Yung affidavit, diba? Showing statements from at least two responsible members of the community where you plan to reside. Okay. So, affidavit ng dalawang responsible members, pwede mo i-consider yan. Okay? In the granting of executive clemency. Next, availability of aftercare services for the petitioner who is old, seriously ill, or suffering from physical disability. Attitude toward the offense and the degree of remorse. Itong remorse, guys, ito yung pagpapakita mo ng sobrang sobra kang nagsisisi, no, doon sa ginawa mo. No? Isa rin sa mga kinoconsider yan. Di ba? Pag nakita niya na ikaw ay, uy, ano to nagsisisi na ito, tao na to. Di ba? Pwedeng i-consider as, ano yan, in the filing or granting of the executive clemencies. Di ba? Next, the risk to other persons, including the victim, his witnesses, his family and friends, or the community in general, and the possibility of retaliation by the victim, his family and friends. Okay, so kung papalayain natin itong tao na to, itong offender na ito, okay, tapos mayroon din palang mag-aabang sa kanya sa labas ng kulungan, sa community, inaabangan siya, no? No, hindi natin pwedeng isaalang-alang yung safety ng offender. Okay? Ayan. Next, prisoners not eligible for executive clemency. Sino ba ang hindi pinapayagan? Okay. Disqualified na po agad kapag kayong prisoner ay escape or evaded service of sentence. Tumakas sa kulungan. Or, no, nung isa-serve niya na yung sentence niya, tumakas naman uli siya sa kulungan. Okay? So, yan po. Hindi po siya pwede na i-grant or maging eligible in the filing of clemency. Okay? So, cases where executive clemency cannot be applied. Okay. Article 7, Section 19 ng Philippine Constitution. Okay. In cases of impeachment. Okay. Hindi mo pwedeng impeachment. Yan. The president may grant reprieves. Reprieves, ito yung stay, di ba? Stay of sentence. Okay. Section 5, Article 9, we have no pardon, amnesty, parole, or suspension of sentence for violation of election rules. Okay. So, hindi po pwede pala kapag meron kong violation, okay, upon violation of election rules. Okay? So, that's the end, guys, of part 2 ng ating discussion. So, kindly take note yung mga guys, yung mga in-emphasize ko, di ba? And this coming week will be your first quiz, and it is composed of 50 questions. No, I will send it via online, di ba? Isasend ko sa group chat. Okay? So, with that, maraming salamat. Okay? So, stay tuned for the part 3 of our subject. Thank you.